What's going on, everyone? Scott here. Welcome back to the channel. So Michigan State basketball returned to the court on Tuesday night versus UCLA at Pauley Pavilion, 10 o'clock on Peacock. Now, UCLA coming into the game 16-6 on the year, 7-4 in the Big Ten, winners of 5 straight after losing 4 in a row. UCLA just beat number 16th ranked Oregon, beat USC, who we obviously just lost to on Saturday, and then beat number 18th ranked Wisconsin. So they're starting to put things back together here after they got off to a really good start, was ranked in the top 25, then had a rocky middle, had a little bit of a losing streak there, but then now putting things back together. Michigan State obviously just had their 13-game win streak come to an end on Saturday against USC. Another top matchup here at Pauley Pavilion on Tuesday night. Now, before we jump into the matchup, if you could, just hit that like and subscribe button down there. More Michigan State basketball content on the channel, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a video. Now, UCLA is led by Tyler Bilodeau. I know I said that last name wrong, apologize again. But with 14 points per game, 5 boards, 41% from 3. Eric Daly Jr. also adds 12 points and 4 rebounds with 39% from the field. Sebastian Mack also adds 10 points a game as well. But a really balanced scoring attack overall for UCLA. Those are the only 3 guys above double-figure scoring for them on the year. No one averages more than 3 assists per game either. They spread that thing around as well, top to bottom on the roster to get their team assists for the year. But a team that's similar to USC, not a high number in the rebounding category, only about 33 rebounds a game. And then something of note too in terms of percentages here, 71% on the year from the free throw line for UCLA, but almost 35% from 3-point range on the year, which is definitely towards the top third, definitely of the country from 3-point range. But similar to USC, they don't turn it over a ton either, only about 11 turnovers a game, which is that good sweet spot margin that we always talk about for Michigan State, staying within 8 to 12. But that 3-point shooting has them in a good, that obviously has them in a good percentage, but they are in the bottom half of the country in terms of 3-pointers made per game, only about 7 per game on the year. But they won't get out and run much either, only around 9 fast break points a game, and is towards the bottom of the country in adjusted tempo, 277th to be exact. Now, they do force quite a few turnovers, top 10 in that category, 16 turnovers per game, top 40 adjusted offensive efficiency, and top 20 defensive adjusted efficiency. So it's going to be a tough battle here for Michigan State on Tuesday night. Now, switching over to the Michigan State side, lots of little stuff to clean up from Saturday's game. A lot of getting the loose balls, the 50-50 balls, if you will. We talked about it in the recap. They had a handful of, USC was shooting a lot of threes. Long rebounds come and had the ball in their hand, got it taken away, or just missed it on a loose ball. That little stuff, with a couple days of practice, hopefully, hey, let's bring everyone back together. Let's clean that stuff up. But 13 turnovers in that USC game. Cannot do that with a team that is top 10 in forcing turnovers per game. That thing can balloon quickly. Now, Michigan State also shot 42% from the field in that one, had 8 missed free throws for 58% on the game. That stuff has to clean up. USC was doing a good job with the defense that they put out there, forcing Michigan State into tough shots. So they got to do a better job of, if UCLA, now that teams possibly have a scout on some different strategies that they might try to use on the defensive side against Michigan State to try to get them out of their stuff that they had been so good with in this 13-game win streak prior to the loss on Saturday. Got to do a better job of creating shots out of that and creating better, easier shots on offense, getting to the paint like they had been in that winning streak as well, and then clean it up from the free throw line. Michigan State had been really good, towards the tops in the country in terms of free throw percentage, and the last 2-3 games been kind of struggling a little bit from the free throw line. So really got to, rail it back in there from the free throw line here going forward down the stretch of the season. We saw how big that was last year in terms of all of the close games that Michigan State did lose last year. A lot of things could have looked differently last year if Michigan State, had the free throw shooting percentages that they have this year. If that went to last year's teams could have looked a lot different. And that free throw shooting is a big reason why Michigan State is in the position they are in right now, sitting at top of the Big Ten standings currently with about a month or so to go, a month and a week or so left to go in this regular season. Then also, too, I think the lineups down the stretch Saturday could have been a little bit better put together. And this is something that haven't really talked about. Like, last year and coming into the season, this was something we talked about all the time. for Michigan State. Like, what lineups are we going to put out there? Who's playing with who? But this year, for the most part, Izzo and his coaching staff have had pretty good, solid lineups that, have been working. There has been some stuff that it's like, oh, I would probably do this differently, but it's still been working out pretty good. So, yeah, the lineup stuff, not having Jace Richardson out there late, and then, we talked about it. If you want the recap for the USC game, we talked about it there towards the end about the lineup situation there, the last minute and a half, 2 minutes of the game, but would like to see us get back to that working in terms of getting the lineups down. Maybe I did see some people talking about on Twitter, like, hey, maybe that the starting lineup has gotten a little stale. Maybe it's time for a switch in the starting lineup. Obviously, everyone has suggested, Jace, Cohen. I'd be interested to see if they do. I mean, I kind of thought for a while here that they could possibly make a change, but obviously, you're on a 13-game winning streak. You're not going to make a change. But now that, that you have lost a game, maybe you do look at adjusting that starting lineup. If you do, I don't know. Yes, I would love. I think Cohen makes the most sense coming in, but I think what has made Michigan State so good is their bench. Their bench units have been one of the top scoring benches in the whole country. So I'm curious if you take Cohen, put him in the starting lineup, or really take Jace too and put him in the starting lineup. I mean, if you're putting Jace in the starting lineup, you really are probably moving Trey to the bench more than likely. You're not going to play, 4 guards like that and then put Jax at center. So I wouldn't mind it if they put Jax at center, brought Cohen in at the 4. I'm just worried about which, and this is what we kind of have been talking about through the season, is this 10-man rotation that Michigan State has been rocking with all year. Is this going to continue to work as we go down the stretch of the season, especially in this month of February when it is really tough here sledding for the last month and a half or month and a week or so of this regular season? Will Michigan State be able to continue to run this 10-man lineup? And we have saw, some players' minutes, dip downs at different times even during this winning streak. This previous winning streak, we saw Xavier Booker some games only, around 10 minutes a game, or even I think one game he only had like 7 or 9 minutes in that game. We saw Simone Zapala, his minutes dip into the low teens, a little bit. Carson Cooper kind of started this thing, this whole winning streak prior to Saturday. He was kind of on the lower teens a little bit, but he's creeped back up and he's been playing really well. So do you just make a swap, Simone for Carson? I don't think that's really doing much. Like they do similar things, but a little bit differently. For me right now, my opinion, I think I would stick with the starting lineup one more game here against UCLA. You're out on this LA road trip. It's just one game, and it was a close game, as I said in the USC recap. It's not like you got blown out by 20 or 30 like we had seen in years past for Michigan State. So I'm sticking with the starting lineup one more game, even though I know Michigan State's best lineup is with Cohen Carr at the 4, the 5, and it is with Jace Richardson on the floor. We know all these things. We all have eyeballs. We can see this is the best lineup. That should be the closing lineup, kind of similar to like the Warriors with Draymond Green. Like their best lineup in their dynasty, within this dynasty for the Golden State Warriors is with Draymond Green at the 5, playmaking and everything. But you don't want to play Draymond Green at the 5, for 82 games in the regular season. You're going to get worn out. So, picking and choosing your times, I think that's what, you kind of want to do with Cohen Carr here. But so yeah, I'm sticking with the starting lineup one more game. If you do use against UCLA, then I'm saying yeah, against Oregon at home on Saturday. At home, then okay, maybe tweak the lineup a little bit. But as of right now, I'm sticking with this current lineup. Jeremy has been playing really good as well too. Jaden has stepped up, scoring wise, still hasn't been shooting it well from the field really, or from 3-point range. So I'm going to need him to step up, both of those guys and the rest of the team to step up even more, because cannot end this road trip 0-2. Bart Torvik has UCLA as the number 24 team in the country. Michigan State, they have at number 13 currently. Michigan State did fall a little bit to number 9 in the polls this week, but Bart Torvik has this as a 70-68 UCLA win, so protecting a really close game here on Tuesday night. But anyway, we'll definitely be back to recap this one, obviously. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.